Hello, everybody, and welcome to Betweenplays. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Betweenplays Stock Market Strategies. So, we're going to put up a little video here just to, basically talk to you guys about what's been going on. There's been no videos up recently, and where are we heading with all this? So basically, on August 9th of 2024, Montreal had big flood, and there was flooding and throughout the entire city. Uh, Maybe a little bit more in the West Island and everywhere else, if you're familiar with the island of Montreal. Of course, my basement was completely flooded. My studio was destroyed. We had no, the whole street had backup sewage water, and of course, it happened just actually, it happened while we were on vacation. So, I made light out of it in the beginning because I thought, oh, rainwater, not so bad. But when I got back and I opened up the door, the smell was absolutely horrible. It was brutal. I remember calling up my wife and saying, listen, I don't know what we're going to do, but the kids cannot come back to this house and sleep here. It's just a disaster. And my wife, naturally, she was still at the campsite, and she didn't know really what I was talking about. And she was like, oh, well, we'll do what we got to do. So what ends up happening is that she gets back to the place here, and naturally, I had to open up the windows, the doors. I was airing this place out, and I started making phone calls immediately to get contractors in here. The next day, I had a contractor I knew that came in here, and then by the end of the day, he had something like 5 different contracts for houses on the street, and then probably 7, 8, whatever. It was absolutely insane. And I got into tearing this place apart big time with the contractor. And but now, naturally everybody was spread thin, so it took longer. But of course, naturally, I still like my contractor. He's a good guy, and there was an opportunity, and definitely he should have taken it, which he did, and that was good for him. Now, some of the people on the street, but also on the island of Montreal, some people have not even finished their contract, like their renovation, and some have not even started because they're in disagreement with the insurances about how much they should be getting and all this kind of stuff. In this case over here, I built my studio thinking I wanted to do it a certain way, and then thinking, no, I'm not too crazy about this, and then I'm not too crazy about that. And as you can see right now, I have this on in the background as a filter, a back screen backdrop. And that's because although my studio is pretty cool, I mean, it's nice, it's not what I want it to be. I have basically not really relaxed the last month, but we were down south in Dominican Republic. That was very good. We got to relax a little bit because we really pretty much only finished the basement in like end of March, April. I think I even got this 4K high definition camera in April. Actually, I did around April 6th. So it just goes to show you that it's a very long process. Naturally, when you have a studio like Betweenplays Studio was, it was very comfortable. It was built for me as a man cave. And then, I was thinking, oh, maybe I can make a studio, and I can do this and I can do that. And what ends up happening is that it was the wrong thought process. The right thought process is building it for me because I enjoy what I do. And the only way for me to continue doing what I do is to continue enjoy being in the locale, in the studio that I'm comfortable in. if I showed you the basement, what it is today, and I'm going to have some pictures that's going to be going up, you'd see that the basement is finished in its entirety. The studio in between the walls, the ceiling, and everything is all soundproofed. I have built this studio so that way no noises from inside here can go outside and no outside noises can come in. Right now, you hear a little bit of something in the background. Maybe it's because I have the windows open and I'm doing this in a very relaxed state. And it's not an interview. The only thing I'm missing on this studio is a door because I want to have a door that hides the studio, like really cool door, like it's a library or a closet or something like that. I shouldn't be putting that out there because people are going to realize that. But you just have to look on the outside and you're going to see, well, there's 3 windows on the outside, but there's only 2 that I can see from the basement. So it doesn't really matter. I don't really care. It's more for fun and more for myself once again. So yeah, so we got around, we finished the whole basement. Everything is good. Naturally, there's other factors, and you have to think, well, what else is going on? There's a family, there's Remax, there's a lot of other stuff happening at the same time. I still managed to get the studio completed, hardwares, softwares, uh, the studio, all of the places to sit, like the lounging area and all this kind of stuff. But it's still not home. What I see in the background of this filter feels more like home to me. This is where Between Plays began. Well, that's not where it's not true. It's not where it began, but it is where it was before it got flooded and destroyed. I will be putting up videos. Between Plays may become Between Plays News Media, Between Plays News, in order to be able to do a lot of different interviews and stuff like that, or Between Plays Market Strategies, in order to have a more global, I don't know how to say it, a more global presence. Well, we already are global. That's crazy. But in order to be able to attack different topics, different subjects, I'd like to be able to talk to geopolitical leaders and analysts from around the world in various topics. And of course, also do all the CEO interviews, whether it's private or public. And why private? Because sometimes in the private sectors, we have technologies that we would not have in the public sector, and so on and so forth. So to get a more compact and round understanding. So basically, that's it. I'm going to be putting up photos and you will see the before, the after, and you'll understand that this was a lot of hard work. And once again, a lot of people are still in a big ordeal with their insurance companies just because of the fact that some companies, from what I've heard, are offering 40 and it's like an $80,000 basement rehaul, especially when you have backup sewage water like we had here. Because not only do you have to tear everything down to the studs, and then even then again, sometimes just get rid of those studs, but you're going to have to sterilize the whole place. It is a long process. And then to be able to rebuild it back up, if you're releveling a whole basement floor and you have walls in between and you have mechanical rooms and everything like that, it's going to take time. So just letting everybody know that the studio is done. I might be making some videos like this in the meantime and transitioning out of this, or maybe rebuilding something that looks a little bit like this. I mean, this is still very, like I said, comfortable, and I feel like it's just a better so it's just a better fit. It's a lot nicer. I like it. So we'll see where we go from here, but definitely, guys, I do have videos that will go on just to show you. I will see if I can take off this filter and just show you a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes. Let me put on my my glasses so I can see a little bit. I wonder if I can get rid of? Let's find out. So just background and effects. Choose video. Let's find out if I can do it this way. Well, there you go. So this is more a business kind of setting. As you can see, we still have the between plays up there. Very proud of it. I got this beautiful bowl up in the corner there too. Um, this is a multi kind of more office space now, which is something that I'm not crazy about. And we're going to turn it into a studio. As you can see on this side over here, we have basically the studio setting over here. So I guess we can see myself like this now because I'm be looking at my camera this way. But as you can see here, we have on the top there, I don't know if you can see it, can't really adjust too well, but we got the bull, and then we have something that says on air, but the on air is creating such an amount of light. There you go. I think you can see a little bit better there. So that's a bull, and right next to it says on air. And that on air is going to be used in a different part of the studio. As we see here, we have some stuff here. We have this over here for in order to do some certain effects for the studio. I don't know if I can get this to work right now, but something happened. The lights went on. Here, let me just see what I can do here. It is on, from my understanding, but effect volume is here. But I don't know if I could get anything here. Hold on. Let's see what I got. Let's see what I can do here. I guess I don't know how to use this yet. So, yeah. Well, that's something to learn. But this is the way it's turned out so far. As you can see down here, we put on epoxy floor. And we have basically a whole basement that's been redone. So, yeah, listen, guys, it's not been an easy road. It's been pretty complicated, to tell you the truth. It's been exhausting. I'm not going to lie. Because of my agent being out of shape, probably mostly being out of shape, because I used to be in shape, but I'm definitely not in shape now. Just going crazy and helping the contractor to bring down, because you don't see on the other side, because that's only half, right? And then it goes in the back, and then there's a whole other side behind there. The other side is all ceramic, and they're big, like 2 feet by 2 feet. Anyways, a lot, really heavy, ripping everything out of the ground. I really wanted to get this place cleaned up. I really wanted to get things done. And of course, I got a hernia because of it. Fun me. So in November, so August, September, October, November, mid-November, sometime around that time, yeah, hernia was killing like hell. December really putting me down, having a hard time working, having to put, some protective stuff. And, I'm just being transparent, because that's just what it is. And then you had, January was a little bit better. Of course, you had the holidays. So no matter what, you're spending time with family on the holidays, and you go around. And so, 2 weeks of December, and then, January, February. And like I said, March, I think February, we started shopping for the furniture. March, putting up the furniture, like building everything in March, pretty much the couches and getting everything in. And then April came some more of this software, and now we're at the end of May. And May, the family, the wife, nobody could take it no more because we have not been able to catch up to anything else on the house. So if something needed renovation last year, it didn't get it. It didn't get the TLC because we were in the basement. I was in the basement putting in all my time to get it done the way it is. If you saw the whole basement, the bathroom on the other side, and whatever, look, everything is top notch. It's absolutely sick. I don't even know how to explain how sick it is, but yeah, it's very comfortable. It's relaxing down here, and that's all of the effort that I put. So all my time, all my effort. What is really important from now on is that I'm not crazy about the office look because it's an office look, and I don't want an office look. I want a studio look. So rebuilding ended up making me try to see things one way over another way, and I tried another way, and I'm still not there. This is very cold type of environment. Whereas, let's go back to this. This is an amazing warm environment. This is what I really, really liked. Now, can I do my videos this way? I don't see why not. Absolutely, I can do that. I prefer it being live. I prefer things being seen. So for me, this is still a work in session. You have to remember that when I first started out between plays, I started from a broken iPhone, and I'll never forget. I didn't have a Yeti connected, nothing. So funny. I should put up that video. I wasn't too sure if I was going to be doing it upstairs in a room. I wasn't too sure if I was going to take the basement. It kept on going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it took years before I got this. It took years. Didn't happen overnight. It took like 3 years to get this, to actually have a studio and to have this kind of quality up and running. Already, I'm well ahead of the game because I know what I'm doing. But is this easy? No, it's not easy at all. Anybody that's YouTubing, that's doing podcasts, especially at certain levels, like that are way ahead of me, like Joe Rogan podcast, or Patrick Bet David with the Vault, and then you have like the Y Files, just to name a few. These are like everybody started somewhere, um, but these are huge programs today on YouTube. They're massive programs. Between Plays is a pretty much a one man show, and with making strong connections around the world with great CEOs that we've interviewed, and we are going to continue interviewing. So I plan on making Between Plays huge, and I've always wanted to do that. I've always had the hopes of interviewing some big people, or maybe me being on their show or something like that, and it's going to happen. Now, my one issue is, and this is for everybody on the Telegram, of course, is, do I continue to do it as Between Plays market media instead of stock market strategies? Because the thing is that it limits me, right? So stock market strategies, it's a cool little tag, with Between Plays, but Between Plays is technically the name I want to keep, like the Between Plays news media, the Between Plays market strategies, instead of saying stock market strategies, Between Plays market strategies, Between Plays marketing media. I don't know. there's it's just that the stock market strategies, I feel that, and I'm thinking maybe market strategies. Between plays market strategies is probably the best because I want to interview people from different markets. I don't want to just be stuck in the one market and not go outside that market to learn about money affairs, geopolitical. I want to have conversations because the world is intertwined. The world is intertwined. If you see what's happening in China, it affects the United States. The tariffs, a threat of tariffs going on to Canada, well, it'll make the stock market just drop like an insane amount. But it's saying that we're going to increase like a high tariffs, put that on Canada, all of a sudden you see the Bank of Canada, the interest rates on the homes just start to go down. So, and then you have, well, yeah, when COVID was there and everything was getting expensive, well, the interest rates on homes went down to like, below 2%. So, everything is intertwined. And if you just have stock market strategies, it's just, I find it's going to limit me and I can do so much more. And I think that that's what's going to happen. So I'm inside kind of like a internal conflict. And then of course there's viewertainment. I've always wanted to build viewertainment because viewertainment, it's got a damn cool name, first of all. Viewertainment's really cool. And, but naturally, it would have to have a different setting, I believe, anyways, because you don't want to use this kind of setting in the same market. But, maybe just between plays itself would be able to handle the traffic um, that I would be bringing to viewertainment. It's just that viewertainment, the name itself means to entertain the viewer, correct? So viewertainment, I mean, I've already logged that in as a trademark name, copyright, and all that kind of stuff. So it's something that I've got, the .coms and all that, and the .cas. So it's something that I locked in, and I have an emblem for and all this kind of stuff. But I'm just wondering, is between plays market strategies probably better? Market strategies between plays, yeah, market strategies is probably the best one. So it's funny. Look, my bull is in the filter there behind. I literally thought it was behind me. So it just goes to show you how great the filters are today. Yeah, I still have that bull. I just don't know where it is. Oh, it's right there. But you see, it's just things like that. It's about getting things done. But I'm going to show you something just to show you that my intentions are very clear, that videos are coming up and I am going to get things done a certain way. Like, just check this out. I think this is pretty cool. So one of the problems that I had, that's pretty cool. I can actually do like, fool around like, hey, what's happening, man? I didn't even know it was. I'm telling you that it's unbelievable how the filter is so great because, yeah, the filter is so good. That's crazy how good the filter is. I'm wondering, I never did this before. See, so I'm doing like tests that I didn't even know I could test on because that's the filter back there, right? Yeah, okay, that's why this went on here. So I guess it doesn't really matter because as long as you're the same distance, yeah, it doesn't really matter. So this is at arm's length. Arm's length is pretty good. So anyways, like, look up, guys, look at this. So right over here, oh, you can't even see that because I have the back filter on. That's why it's not doing what I want to do. All right. So as you can see, this is, we get that back filter off. I'll show you something. Choose back, adjust background. Okay, hold on a second. Boom, get on nothing here. So check this out. This is pretty cool. Man, it looks like a school almost. Like it is definitely not what I want to be doing as videos. I guess I could do videos like this with my old. Yeah, it's not so bad because I can put it up on my stand like that. I can do a video like this. Yeah, we'll see. So look, this is what I find really cool. So right here, I got two lights, right? So I got my light switch, all right, which is all new pod lights, as you can see. Believe me, I really love this air the vent cover compared to what it was before that was there. It was horrible. This really works really well. What we have here is we have another light switch, as you can see. I'll close it, and you'll see that this will go red. So that piece there goes red. Now, nothing turns on inside this room. That's because underneath here, on the outside, against here, what's going to end up happening is that you have that on air, which you really cannot see. I don't know why. It's really weird how you can't see it. So it says on air. Okay? On air. Well, this on air, damn. Oh, man. Hold on a second, see if I can get that. Oh, I'll wait. So see if I can leave that like that for now. So you can see it says on air. Oh, well, that's why. Because there's a white background. So there. So on air. So what ends up happening is that goes on the outside. So when I click this here, that light goes on. I know that the on air sign is functional on the outside. I know that it's on. And that indicates to everyone that's coming here, my kids or whoever, that I am doing an interview. And then here, this door, as you can see, there's no door. There's no door. So that's the last thing that's left for me to do, is to find a door. Naturally, if I'm doing an interview and I have this office the way I really, really want it, no one's going to come down, so it doesn't really matter. But when this is off, that means that we're not live, and my kids could come knock on the door, they could come talk to me, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as this switches on, that light on the outside goes on, no one will disturb me from making my videos. But as you can see, I have all of the basic elements. I have the chairs. I have everything. It's just cold. It needs to become a studio again. And I need to do that. I need to make it comfortable. And what I think I'm going to do is, by just putting this video out there and talking to all of you, is that I'm going to use the filter, and I'm going to do interviews with the filter on, because I could do it like this. I find it just too business-like, right? Some guy in his basement office space. I might have to get the creative side. So, the thing is that the functionality side is there. We have the hardware, we have the software, we have everything we have in order to make these videos, to do everything I have to do. Inside each wall, it has been sheeted with urethane, very thick, over 2 inches, probably at 3 inches. It's very thick. And in the dividing walls, it's all soundproofed. I have stuck soundproofing in the ceiling, soundproofing all over the place, in all the walls. And I have a big speaker at the very end down there. I have blasted it in this room, and no one in the house can hear it. A huge speaker, I don't know, whoever knows Costco, I got this massive, massive, massive. I don't know if you can see it all the way at the end. All the way at the end down there. It's behind the gym itself there. It's a big black rectangular thing down there. It's just a huge speaker. And no one can hear it in the whole house. And I could have it on full blast, the bass, everything full blast, and no one hears it. So did I do all of that in order not to get Betweenplays up and running or not to get the studio going? Of course not. I wouldn't have put all that time and sacrifice in making this room this way. But I find it cold. I find it too much like an office. It's not pleasant for me to be down here. It doesn't feel like a man cave or a man cave studio. So I've just come to realize that that's what's missing. By doing this video, by talking to all you guys out there, RG, Oren, and everyone that's out there, high grade, everyone that's out there, that it's missing that little element. So we're going to bring the element back. And now that I realize that that's what's missing, I will do videos with the filter on until I have the studio done. So we're at the point now where we're going to say goodbye. We are going to be putting up videos. I'm going to do it with the filter on. And Betweenplays will remain Betweenplays. The name Betweenplays is more important than everything else. I'm going to leave you with some photos of what I came home to and what we went through. Okay, everybody, have yourself a great day. And always remember, research, prepare, plan to execute, stay strong. Until the next video.
Betweenplays. It's the journey and what you do between where you are and where you want to be. Research, prepare, plan, and execute your strategy. Do your DD and stay strong in visualizing and achieving your goals. Our strategy is unique since 2020. An original concept imitated, never duplicated. Real conversations with media influencers, educational and expert speakers, analysts and consultants. Betweenplays, bridging the gap between companies and investors.